the Public Service Commission has revealed that government failed to pay more than 3,000 invoices to service providers between September and December last year. Some of the big offenders include the Department of Health, Tourism and Public Works. So, of course, this means that the bulk of government suppliers were not paid 30 days after providing services. Let's get you some analysis on what this means. We're joined by the Chairperson of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Somadoda Fikeni, joins us via our video link this morning. Doc, it's great to see you. Thanks very much indeed for coming on. This is not a news story, and of course, government suppliers having contend with this issue for so many years, and the sad irony is that it's SMMEs that are suffering.
Yes, indeed. The service providers are suffering, and especially your small businesses, because some of them have had to deal with the credit crisis that they have, especially after the COVID-19 recovery. So we are pursuing the departments and hoping that Parliament and the ministers and DGs or heads of those.
Doc, I hope we haven't lost our connection to you. Let me go ahead with my next question. In terms of consequence management for the officials who are responsible for this late payment of invoices, I understand as far back as last year, National Treasury said that it should be included in their performance agreements for people like accounting officers, chief financial officers, and the other relevant officials. Are we seeing those kinds of consequences play out?
Those ought to be enforced. That's why we're in discussion with the Department of Public Service and Administration to issue such regulations so that we can monitor that this is indeed done, and people who are responsible, there is consequence management there, not only in terms of performance management, but in terms of other actions if there are no reasons provided for delayed payments.
Dr. Fikeni, is there a context here? Is there a scenario where suppliers are actually submitting invoices late? Is that possibly playing into some of the delays here?
In some instances where there are disputes, that is not necessarily factored into the 30 days. The 30 days primarily focus where all necessary documents have been submitted and the work has been done. And therefore, largely it is the failure of responsible departments to make the payments.
The Commission saying, that's the Public Service Commission saying, as far back as last year, the Health Department owed small businesses up to 56 million rand. Again, and you know, we started our conversation with this, but it really can't be overstated. The impact on businesses, this kind of late payments, especially businesses that rely on government, that do a lot of their businesses with government institutions, it can often lead to not only them suffering or going into debt, but also closing down.
In fact, that is one of the biggest challenges, because small businesses in particular are the driving force of economic growth and employment. But now, if government itself would be one of the culprits in the closing down of those businesses, it is a self-defeating exercise. That's why we are saying greater attention should be paid to that. But not only that, as you point out, the health department, we realize that departments which have institutional weaknesses tend to also have an impact on the payments as well as general governance atmosphere.
Treasury has previously recommended disciplinary action be taken against the officials responsible here. What do you reckon the form should take of this disciplinary action?
Well, I do think that, yes, I do think that disciplinary action should be taken where it is clear that people are withholding, perhaps even for corrupt reasons, because people want to get favors from companies before they pay them, when companies have done their work. But it should also be part of the performance assessment, as we earlier indicated. And it should go up to the head of that department to say, you will have to monitor the people below in the supply chain, in the finance division, so that if they do not do their work, it has a knock-off effect on your own performance as well.
Absolutely. Dr. Somadoda Fikeni is the chairperson of the Public Service Commission. Thanks very much for your time on this Monday morning.